with today's story. So by divine providence, as you'll see, is bound up with the Maimah that we're learning. I'm just basically following this. I'm using this book and basically following its stories, and showing that which is, I believe, of value. It's interesting. It's just the way Chassidim tell a story. So this again, a Modcha Yoel. This is the Zayda of Zalman Duchman. Zalman Duchman was the Zayda of Shalom Duchman. For those who know him, Yirmiyahu knows him well. So my Zayda said once, this is Reb Zalman speaking, when they were having it, this is the way to describe it. They were having a drop of mashke and hummel in Yiddish it rings. Because that's about Bisl mashke, well, Fabeng in other words. And a poor man with a bigger sack came along and asked for tzedakah. So of course they gave him. But noticing the distinct radiance on his face, you hear Chassidim's perception. So they asked him if he had perhaps spent some time with the Alter Rebbe. You see a Chassid's chush that they saw the beggar, a radiance in his face. And so they asked him, he said, yeah. So they said, no, tell us something that you heard. So he says, I can't think of anything. But the Chassidim didn't give up, and they're pestering and tell us something. Okay, he said. This is what he said. The Gemara says, when Hashem created man, so the angels protested, and Hashem extended his little finger and burnt them. That's what the Gemara says in Sanhedrin. They said, the Alter Rebbe said, got the 10 fingers, the 10 spheres. And the little finger is the sphere of Malchus. That's exactly what we're learning here. Malchus, the lowest. And Malchus is Knesset Yisrael. And Malchus is rooted in, I'm adding this. He didn't say anything of this. Let me just see what he said. So Knesset Yisrael, in other words, Hashem showed them a Yiddish neshama, and they were consumed by fire. Extended his small finger, and they became complete in his battle. Exactly what we're learning. The dafka neshama that comes into a guf, which is what Malchus produces, the doima, the physical world. And the neshama is rooted, but it's rooted where? In the pnimis hakavan, in the kadmas haseichel, pnimis, etc. The neshama expresses the divine essential desire for a dirah b'tachtonim, which is invested in the neshama, because as we have learned at length, dirah b'tachtonim is not about the tachton either. It's about Hashem's desire for a relationship with us. But he wants that relationship where, dafke in this world, in neshama b'guf, this is what Hashem extended. So the neshama, the angels had protested, what is man? They're looking at this externally, into a guf and a yitzhahara and a tachton. And Hashem showed them a glimpse of the pnimis hakavan, of his essential desire. He became completely nullified and burnt up, which means coming in a longing for connection to this, to the Eibishter, to the deepest truth that they see only a neshama has. That's the general explanation. Okay, friends.